I'm 18 years old, and I'm actually I trade futures. I'm a day trader, and I've recently started making a pretty large amount of money, and I just want help, managing it correctly and making responsible choices.
When you say you've been making a lot of money, tell us real dollar amounts.
Well, I've been averaging about 15,000 a week for the past 5 months.
Okay.
This
Whoa.
past week, I made 25,000. How I actually trade is I'm a funded trader. I'm actually treated as an individual contractor, and the firm provides me with capital to trade with after they've evaluated me. So, really, I just paid for that evaluation fee, which was only $150.
So you're not investing your own money?
No.
How do you get paid?
So they take commissions off my trades, and then they give me the rest.
So what's the rest? What do you get?
It's it's a 90-10 split. I get 90%, then they get 10.
Wow. Listen, lucky
That's
ducky.
wild.
Lucky ducky. And I say that on purpose because I feel like this is sheer luck going on right now. And I only say that because a lot of the statistics show that day traders, statistically, it's like less than
Here it is.
5%.
97% of day traders who persisted for more than 300 days lost money. So you are...
Yes, I have heard that.
You're not at the 300-day mark yet, and truthfully, I have no ill will. I hope you keep making money.
Making money, yeah.
But the key that I would go is, like, if this was Vegas, we'd all be around you going, dude, cash in the chips and walk away. All right, you literally, it's like you just won the lottery, and now you're playing with other people's money, which does lower your risk. You're
True
not putting
that.
your own money. But my bigger question is, what are you doing with this $300,000 you've made in the last 6 months?
Well, I've got most of it sitting in my bank account. I still live with my parents, so I really don't have many living expenses. I'd say I probably only spend about maybe $1,500 a month.
Okay.
I've just been saving it up, and I've been planning on buying a nice car, but I don't know if that's the responsible thing to do.
I would have like a house before you put all of your money in a depreciating asset to impress your friends. And trust me, they would be impressed. What's less impressive is invisible wealth, where you're like, well, it's in the equity of my very reasonable home.
Have you ever lived on your own before, Amir?
No, never. I'm actually recently just turned 18.
Okay, so I might differ with George only on timeline. Like, I think it's a good idea to buy a house, but maybe not yet. If I were you, my first goal would be like, listen, I'm going to get out of this house, my parents' house, and I'm going to go rent for a while. And I'd probably park that $300,000 like in an index fund, and maybe look at your projection and say, okay, do I want to be a home owner in the next 4 years, in the next 5 years, whatever that is? If it's 5 years or less, I'd probably put it in a high yield savings account. But if it's more than 5 years, I might park a good portion of it, just in some sort of index fund and just wait until you're ready to do something. I like George's idea of doing real estate, but if you do buy a vehicle because you need one, just buy something that's modest. Like, I would not use this money as an excuse to inflate my lifestyle into such that's not real long-term yet, if that makes sense. I think you'll be a successful guy. We just don't know if you're going to make $300,000 a year from here on out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand. It's not obviously a linear thing. I wasn't planning on buying, a supercar or anything. I'm looking at a 2014 Mercedes CLS. It's about $28,000, and I was just wondering if buying that cash would be a responsible thing to do or not.
What do you make outside of, like, is this your full-time job?
It is now. I used to do gigs on apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats before I became profitable.
Okay. And what did you make when you did that?
It really depended because I was still in high school, and then towards the beginning of this year, I was still in college. So I was only working about 20 hours a week. So maybe at most like $1,500 a month, but some months I'd go up to like 25.
Here's the thing. I'm all about you buying a car in cash. I would treat this money like the windfall that it is. And so in that case, if you wanted to take some of it and buy a car, I'm not mad at that. Do you have any debt? I'm hoping not.
No, no debt.
Yeah, 2014. What would you say, George? I'm fine with it.
I mean, it's reasonable. The parameter we look at is you don't want more than half of your income tied up in things with wheels and motors. And the truth is, we don't know how sustainable this income is. And so what I would caution you against is losing out on opportunity cost of, hey, $28,000 in a car that's going to be worth $20,000 a year from now may not be wise when I could put that into XYZ, an investment, a future home down payment fund, whatever it may be. So there's nothing wrong with getting a car. I think you're doing it in a reasonable way. You don't sound like a guy who's about to blow up his life to go flex on Instagram. I just know as an 18-year-old, that would be my temptation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with George.
Tempted, yeah.
You're 18. You have a lot of time to build wealth, and this is a really, really great head start as long as you don't lose it in the next 150 days. Yeah, this car to me doesn't sound super inflated. It kind of just sounds like, it sounds like what it is. You were playing at the tables, you got lucky, and you got a lot of extra cash on your hands. But be really smart with it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, one last question. What do you want to do with your life? Let's fast forward 5 years from now. Let's say day trading does not exist anymore. SEC makes it illegal. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm actually currently in college studying biochemistry. My dream is to become a doctor one day.
Hey, do you come from a Middle Eastern family?
I do.
I feel that as a Middle Eastern guy. Everyone in my family is a doctor but me at this point,
Listen,
or at least in the medical world.
This money sounds like med school.
Yeah, it does sound like med school. That would cover all 4 years.
Hey, that might be the reason this money was put into your lap. Not to blow on cool stuff, but to fund med school completely debt-free. You know how much of a unicorn that would make you when you graduate?
Right.
When all your buddies are bragging about, like, oh, dude, I just took on another 50 grand in debt. I'm at 400 grand. Like, these are the conversations my family now has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'd love to see you set yourself up for a debt-free future. And to Jay's point,
great.
let's hold on and see what the future holds. And if it is med school, we've got it funded, and mom and dad don't have to co-sign student loans to make this happen.
That's pretty awesome. My guy got lucky. It really is the equivalent, like you said, George, to going to Las Vegas. Somebody gets hot on the craps table. And listen, I am the one telling him to roll again because I just love Las Vegas. But truthfully, day trading, the stats are there. Like there's no arguing with that. For him, the good thing is it's not his money, and it's crazy that he gets to keep 90% of it.
I want to know what firm is hiring 17-year-olds to do this bidding on their behalf.
That sounds very
sketchy. It's just
sketchy.
the whole thing's sketchy. I believe sketchy. Amir. I just think it's wild. We've taken many calls on the show, Jade. People losing 30 grand, 150 grand, even 300 grand by day trading.
Yeah.
So don't look at Amir and go, I'm